see you. Come in. Come in and take a seat. Thanks for dropping by. It's really good to see you. 2 books that were recommended to me when I started out on my dressage journey a couple of years ago, going from combined driving for 10 years and before that a bush rider for most of my life. So I decided that I'd put the word out there on social media and find out what books do people recommend. There were 2 books that were recommended to me that I would now like to recommend to you. There are other books recommended as well, but these 2 books I would like to recommend to you. The first one is Dressage Formula by Eric Herbermann. There's a newer edition now available, but these old editions are still great. What I like about Eric's book is that at the end of each chapter, he summarises in bullet points what he's gone over in the preceding chapter. The first chapter is actually about mental attitude and how we need to allow ourselves to be able to make mistakes because this is how we learn. And each of us are actually on our own journey. So that's Dressage Formula by Eric Herbermann. The second book I would like to recommend, that when was recommended to me, I was a bit taken aback because it's about rider position. And I thought, why? What's the problem with my rider position? I want to learn how to train the horse. There's nothing wrong with my rider position. Well, I was very naive, and I'm really glad that this book was recommended to me. So it's Centered Riding by Sally Swift, and it has some fantastic illustrations throughout the book that I often imagine while I'm riding and help me to remember how to improve on how I'm communicating with my horse and my balance and my seat, etc. So that's Centered Riding by Sally Swift. What am I reading at the moment? Well, those 2 books were what were recommended to me a couple of years ago, and I recommend those to you now. What am I reading at the moment? It Takes 2 to Tango by Tanya Mitten. Tanya is an Australian equestrian, and I'm really enjoying this book at the moment. It goes through both a horse training scale as well as a rider training scale. And there's some key elements in this book that have made a big difference for me recently.
What we learn from different sources is not kept in isolation. So if we go back to Sally Swift's Centered Riding for a moment and have a look at some of the wonderful illustrations in this book, one of the things I've been working on at the moment is how I'm holding the reins in my hands and keeping my arms soft. So here Sally points out about making sure your fingertips are touching the palms of your hands. But I love this illustration where she says, imagine you're holding baby birds in your hands, keeping your hands soft. So if we go back to It Takes 2 to Tango, and where Tanya Mitten talks about how you hold the reins, I love this piece where she explains the rein which is held between the little and the ring finger can be held in place by applying pressure to the thumb, which is holding the rein on top of the index finger. This activates a different set of muscles and keeps the arm and elbow relaxed. So combining all of this together, thinking about holding baby birds, my fingertips touching my palms, and holding the reins with my thumbs and keeping my arms, elbows and shoulders relaxed and moving with the horse.
So I combine my learnings from each of these books and other learnings from other books, which brings me to the 3 elements to equestrian success, which is what Eric Herbermann talks about, and that is the importance of theory, receiving coaching, and practice to bring it all together. So get out there, buy yourself some books, brush up on your theory, receive some coaching, and then put it all into practice. And I wish you all the best on your dressage journey.